Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to sift through, all the noise and find those quieter, maybe deeper truths that really stick with us. In a world that's just constantly buzzing, how do we actually find genuine connection? How do we spot the moments that are really worth holding on to and find the wisdom to navigate, well, the messy, beautiful reality of our relationships and ourselves? Today, we're taking a deep dive into Moments to Hold Close by Molly Burford. And it's not just like a book of reflections. It feels more like a guide, really. A beautiful one, offering a unique way to look at the human condition.
It really is. Burford uses these poignant lists, short essays, really candid thoughts, and somehow she distills these, pretty profound emotional truths into things that feel very accessible. It's a source that gives you some surprising angles on how we connect, how we heal, and how we find meaning in the everyday stuff we might usually overlook.
Yeah, exactly. And our mission for you listening is to pull out the most, impactful bits of wisdom from this source. We want to arm you with some fresh ways of thinking about who to cherish, how to love more deeply, and that includes yourself, crucially, and also how to handle life's changes, the heartbreaks, with, grace and hope. So get ready for maybe a few aha moments. Okay, let's unpack this. Molly Burford starts right off with a John Green quote, doesn't she? "I don't know a perfect person. I only know flawed people who are still worth loving." Wow. That really sets the stage, huh? Embracing our messy humanity from the get-go.
It's such a strong opening because right away Burford is saying love isn't about finding perfection, it's about acceptance. And then she builds on that. She gives us tangible characteristics, feelings that show what this kind of connection actually looks like. It really makes you think, okay, what kind of people do enrich our lives? What defines that connection?
And she paints such a clear picture. She gives us this great framework for figuring out our inner circle. She calls them the keepers of your heart in sections like types of people you need to hang on to. It's very vivid. She talks about enthusiastic listeners, or people who are kind to those who can do nothing for them. And I really liked her point about the messy folks who repeatedly get it wrong but never stop trying. That felt so real.
Oh, absolutely. It's refreshing, isn't it? Focuses on effort, on authenticity, not just perfection. And these aren't just descriptions, are they? They're kind of prompts for reflection. As you hear those, who pops into your head? That's what she's getting at. She says, hold them close, love them hard. It's a call to recognize these people aren't just, casual friends.
Yeah.
They're key.
Definitely. And then she moves beyond just traits to practical signs, these subtle cues that show a connection is healthy. She calls them green flags, things to look out for. There's an incomplete list of green flags and 25 underrated green flags. And some are fascinatingly specific, yes, people who tell tough truths gently, or listening to understand, not just waiting to talk. That's huge. But then she has things like people who aren't afraid to take the last slice of pizza, or someone who talks to kids with real interest and respect. That one really hit me.
Yeah, those specifics are so revealing, right? The pizza thing, it's not really about pizza. It's about feeling comfortable, being yourself, no performance needed, and how someone talks to kids. That shows you their empathy, their lack of judgment. It's a window into their core. These green flags point to genuine respect, humility, selflessness. That's the foundation of good relationships. It's about how people are, not just how they seem.
She even carves out this special category. Signs? You found your platonic soulmate, which isn't just your best friend, it's deeper. Like someone you just know you would have been best friends with as kids, or someone you could just give the look to across a room and they get it instantly. That kind of connection.
It's so interesting how she broadens soulmate beyond romance. She emphasizes that shared understanding, the comfortable silences, knowing someone has your back, whether you're celebrating or falling apart. It just highlights that love shows up in so many ways. Chosen family, blood family. It's all part of it. And if you look at her best types of chemistry.
Right. It's not just romantic stuff. It's like someone finishing your sentence. Or those slap-happy car rides, Hugs that feel like a safe haven. Or laughing so hard with someone you can't even look at them. Those real shared moments.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you pause and think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How often do we really value the simple intimacy of, say, eye contact, or those comfortable silences, or even sharing books with your notes scribbled in the margins? These feel like the threads, maybe the quiet threads that weave our lives together. So important.
And that leads us really nicely into the next big theme Burford explores. This cycle of love, change, and the really tricky part, letting go. She puts forward this profound idea in, some people are only meant to be loved for a little while. She asks this question: would you stop listening to music, watching movies, reading books just because they end? Shouldn't we treat people the same? That's powerful.
It really is a potent analogy. It shifts the focus entirely, doesn't it? Away from demanding permanence towards appreciating the quality of the time. Burford suggests maybe it's not about the longevity of the love, but the quality of the time spent loving one another. Accepting that change happens, that maybe who we are when we fell in love may no longer exist and vice versa. That allows for a different way of holding on to love, maybe from a distance, wishing them well. It feels, I don't know, quite liberating, actually.
And she really gets into the why behind these shifts, too. She has sections like theories that explain why we fall in love, and just as importantly, theories that explain why we fall out of love. For falling in love, she lists things like chemistry, sure, but also fear, needing hope, even because 2 a.m. is awfully heavy to handle all on your own, or missing the first bus. I like that one.
Yeah, missing the first bus really captures that serendipity, doesn't it? How sometimes a shared moment of like minor inconvenience can spark something huge. And then for falling out of love, the reasons she gives, mismatched fates, self-sabotage, people just changing their minds. It's so complex. It shows that love isn't always this simple internal feeling. It's affected by so many factors, some totally outside our control. It's not always a failure. Sometimes it's just paths diverging.
Yeah.
Or even choosing yourself, which can be hard but necessary.
Which brings us to this really powerful section, lessons you learn from loving the wrong person. She argues you learn vital things like how to ask for what you need and, crucially, how to walk away. And she says your role is not saving. It is to be loving, caring, present.
That's a big shift in how we might see things, isn't it? It absolutely is. It reframes your role and responsibility and that key insight she offers. You learn that there are no wrong people to love. There are just people we love, and sometimes it doesn't work out. It is good until suddenly it is not. That just lifts such a weight, I think. It means you don't have to label a past relationship a mistake. Instead, it was a chapter. It served a purpose, taught you something, helped you grow, even if it ended.
Which kind of flows into the final theme we wanted to touch on,
Yeah.
that journey back to ourselves, healing, vulnerability. Burford gives this incredibly raw, honest definition in what does vulnerability feel like? She lists things like admitting you don't know something, saying I was wrong, letting someone see you with a mascara-painted face and defeated eyes, saying I love you first, showing your scars. It's really laying yourself bare.
It is, and what's so compelling is how she frames vulnerability. Not as a weakness, never as weakness, but as this courageous act. Showing up authentically, she states it plainly. Vulnerability is necessary. Vulnerability is connection. Vulnerability is the foundation of love. You need it for real connection, and you absolutely need it for healing yourself. It's about taking off the armor.
Yeah. And then she expands on who self even is, with this lovely idea of patchwork beings.
Yeah.
Like we're all stitched together from bits of everyone we've loved or known. Remembering a first grade crush's name, or how a college roommate talked, or your grandma's safety advice. Those are the threads.
It's such a beautiful image, isn't it? A mosaic of influences. We're not just one thing. And she also highlights the huge impact of family in shaping that self. She shares things my mother taught me, things about kindness, art, feminism, apologizing properly, and things my father taught me about laughter, hard work, letting feelings pass, asking for help. These aren't just personal stories. They're examples of those foundational lessons that build our capacity to love and live.
Okay, so if that's who we are, this patchwork, how do we then practice how to love yourself better?
Yeah.
Burford's advice is pretty direct here. Slow down when you're happy. Notice it. Learn from your mistakes. Don't just repeat them. Stop trying to impress people you don't even like. That's a big one. Ask for help. And maybe most importantly, stop expecting yourself to be perfect. Allow yourself to be human. Her self-love reminders are just, boom, so powerful. Like, you don't have to be useful in order to be loved. Woo. And you are allowed to outgrow the life you thought you wanted. That gives so much permission. My absolute favorite, though, you are not perfect. You are human. And that is far more interesting anyway.
Oh, that last one is crucial, isn't it? Because she normalizes the struggle so well. In some things that don't exclude you from love, she lists your messy mind, your haunted heart, shame, guilt, pain, intrusive thoughts, and just the fact that you are not perfect, period. Accepting all of that, the whole messy package, that's the key to healing, really, getting okay with the discomfort.
Right? And healing itself, she points out, looks different for everyone. It could be appreciating autumn again after a loss, or finally admitting you're hurting, asking for help, accepting what you can't control, and ultimately realizing you deserve to get better, getting better as a result. It's a process, not an endpoint. So how do we live more fully, more authentically, with all this in mind? Her rules for living well are great practical starting points. Speak up when you're hurt. Trust good things when they come along. Take the chance. Eat the pasta. Love that one. Be kind, even when it's hard, especially then. Simple, but profound. And in this age of distraction, her 20 reasons to look up from your phone, so needed. Because your friend deserves your undivided attention. Because you're missing out on the moment right in front of you. Because your life cannot wait. Oof, it hits home.
It really does. And it connects perfectly to her reminder for living, #1, doesn't it? Where she says, notice the moments that make you forget your phone. Who are you with? What are you doing? How are you feeling? Do more of that.
Yeah, it's not just about putting the phone down. It's about actively seeking and savoring those moments of genuine presence and absorption.
Yes. And finally, Burford offers guidance on how to fall back in love with your life, which she presents as a journey. It starts by acknowledging what feels off, what's missing, realizing maybe you're no longer the same either, and then consciously building anew. The magic, she insists, isn't something you just find out there. It rests in your own hands. You create it.
Wow. Okay, so this deep dive into moments to hold close, it's really shown us that life, with all its connections, its heartbreaks, its self-discoveries, it's this intricate tapestry, right? Woven with both incredible joy and inevitable struggle. It seems to be about acknowledging our flaws, cherishing our unique patchwork selves, and really seeing the beauty, often the quiet beauty, in those fleeting moments.
Absolutely. And I think Burford's ultimate wisdom, maybe best captured in her reminder for living, #2, is simply this. Life isn't meant to be figured out. It's meant to be experienced. It's about giving ourselves permission to feel it all, the good, the bad, the confusing, to learn from every encounter, every feeling, and to keep choosing to show up for ourselves and for the people who make being human feel a little less heavy.
So here's something to maybe mull over as you go about your day. In a world that's constantly pushing us to achieve, to perform, to seem perfect, what if the bravest, most fulfilling thing you can actually do is just embrace your full, messy, always evolving self, and to consciously hold close those people, those feelings, those moments that remind you how wonderfully, gloriously human you are, knowing that maybe this imperfect journey, well, maybe that's exactly what makes life worth living.